Welcome everyone to another Linux development live stream here with Linux T2 website views and use downloads and stuff up over 1000%. No surprise to 5 years live here. Marketing on this channel, also go fields, cool. It is no surprise that we, just like yesterday, doing what IBM and Free Software Foundation's job was, finding bugs in GCC, but other interesting inquiries and satisfied developer emails coming in. And it's absolutely amazing to see how many more people use that now, professionally and companies and other open source stuff. And with that comes new input, right? There's of course only so much I can do here, other T2 developers and stuff, and you in your comments down below. And so, for example, all those stuff, so people really want to use it also on MIPS surprise, right? Why do we maintain all this stuff like MIPSL? Hey, turns out there are MIPSL, like MIPS, 32-bit little Indian users. Turns out there are people who want SuperH, right? So, what was it, Hitachi or Renesas? They're out of Japan, I believe. So architecture, they're also used in the Dreamcast, and so on, right? And so for some of this architecture, so usually we have boot code, right? We distribute ISOs that you can dump on a USB stick. And so for some of these architectures, I knew we don't have boot code, right? Because like Dreamcast, SuperH, like either you have an embedded board or crazy Sony-like console, like Sony or Sega, like obfuscated CD copy protect loading stuff and so on. So for some architectures, we naturally never had boot code because near copyright infringement or strange embedded boards. And turns out email came in asking to make this much more amazing, which is actually a really simple idea. Didn't even really quite think about this, because the thing is I use, like for those architectures, I use the ISO as a container. So we distribute that ISO to you with all the packages. Also, did we skip over that already? Where am I? SuperH. And let's quickly, this was SuperH, right? So we need, of course, to fix, what did I build here? Or is it, this, what did I even what do I build here? I have SuperH. So one quality of life, like super easy, and that's the thing, right? The more people, the more brain cells, and the more ideas, making open source and in general the world a better place. Plus, of course, more eyes, more bug fixes. And so the simple thing is to improve booting, especially for people who want to try it out in QEMU. For the architectures is simply, obviously, including the kernel then on the CD, so that you don't need to manually instruct it. Super easy thing, and it's a good, like, each day one last thing. But the thing is, I said it before, I should release earlier, release more often. I released some intermediate builds for popular architectures for testing the other month. But similar to yesterday's GCC bug, optimization bug of floating point range, was it ranges, or other arithmetic optimizations. And also this today, imagine I would have just released 3 days ago the ISO and like 1 day later regretted, right? So the good thing is we don't have time-based releases. Not a fan of time-based releases, just look at Apple and Microsoft. Each release more buggy than the other. It's like, yeah, what does it matter? 1 month longer each day. Like 1 month delayed, one more thing a day is already 30 more amazing things, bug fixes and quality of life improvements. I should have actually touched the file. Yeah, I still need to fix what's up there with Go, not the highest priority. Whatever, Go. Okay, so that otherwise probably with MIPSL we can test this, but also with SuperH. And so this request comes from other prominent open source developers, right? Who say, hey, your T2 is so much, like, hey, your T2 works so much more than so much more amazing than Debian, but can we have this and this on the boot ISO? It's like, yeah, 1 day later, we are here and do it. Having a great day. I hope so. You all have too. Cold day here in England. Yeah, you're saying we had snow last night. So yeah, 0 degrees Celsius and freezing. food shopping, back home, Sun Enterprise. Amazing. Hope you enjoy your Sun Enterprise. It certainly keeps the room warm, so the study warm. So when we build this, so what we want, so we build this target. Let's see if we also do we build the other stuff. Also, let's actually increase the parallel. So from the embarrassingly parallel build thing. Oops. I searched that wrong. Let's other builds continue more parallel than so. Create ISO. It should be super simple and basically a fallback for all architectures. Create ISO SuperH, and so yeah, we need that. Hello. What's not a valid? MIPSE. Too many builds. This fancy expansions, by the way, I need this twice, right? I need the config name and the ISO name. This is why I usually use this empty comma separate expansion, shell expansion there. So if we mount that, so now we have a MIPSE ISO and mount that to media MT. So probably we don't have any boot stuff. That's of course not amazing. The email is right. Thanks for that. And so we actually have there somewhere architecture, maybe share boot. So what we do now, because this is some shared boot in. Maybe, so we probably best copy some other. Let's probably, what would be an easy one? x86 is complex. MIPS has octane stuff. Yeah, let's maybe just copy something. Like, do we have alpha or even Itanium? So share boot, and so we don't need that. So CD pre-hook, we don't do here much. I mean, it's not, all of those are not EFI platforms, so we basically don't need anything here. Then CD add. I mean, we could actually, what we actually could do is we could generate some ext Linux compatible, because a lot of embedded bootloaders use some ext Linux compatible configuration file. Maybe that would make some sense. There's a probably here. Windows CE, very dense partition first header of Linux would typically call HDR. What the heck? Label kernel append Initrd. So yeah, maybe we do that in a, you know what, or do I learn or not? Let's do this already. Let's just put it on the root. I probably should check that with something like RISC-V stuff. Also there we have EFI. There's even the freaking... We could actually use boot ext Linux. Okay, you know what? Let's undo that. Let's leave this MKD here. But not this. And then we create a boot. I probably adapt this later, so that was label. I believe they are case insensitive. I'm not a fan of uppercase stuff that looks so SQL. Was it kernel, right? Too many workspaces. Kernel. So this is just some guidance, right? It's guidance for people playing along at home. We need actually to clear that if you regen that. How do I do that in the other? Just to make also not grab if anyone is already screaming. And then this Xboot stuff is a little bit unfortunate. I wish the Linux people would have standardized on something like kboot. Or does it has petite boot? Actually, I should probably check if petite boot has. Probably in the meantime they might have X Linux compatible things. That is the thing, right? Each freaking platform has their own strange Zelo, Palo, Alo, Elo. Architects, so that is ISO, no emulation. Do we need that? Probably. Great, so that is, not sure, can we leave, do we even, okay, let's maybe leave it empty and see what happens. What else did we need? Alright, we wanted to, where's even copying the kernel? So what I'm actually really after is copying the kernels pre-add. Or is it, where is it even done? Maybe it's done generically, but maybe only if we... So right now they are not there, right? No, it's not there. Okay, let's see if that is enough. Of course, with all the complexity, even in our Linux distribution, I can't remember each and every detail, what precisely was going on there. No arch, there was some warning, no arch, whatever. This looks better. So, yeah, some of those boot in, probably it only did that if there's a boot in. No arch, no arch, specific arch, cd at, I don't even remember what that was, arch. Or did I? I thought I had that. Because we need, of course. So this still probably doesn't do anything. We need one more code change to actually use this generic. So that would mean yeah. Somewhere probably target share. Maybe install. Or I grab that. Here's misc target boot in, misc boot in. Okay, here is the output if that is available. And so here's actually some nice hint. You can add it to architecture stuff. So we removed that. No arch. Specific boot in generic fallback. It's better than nothing, right? And then we just saw the newly created architecture share boot in. And that hopefully, let's see. should give us then, with the new code added, a more useful setup. So boot even when I've been muted files. Cool. That's unfortunate. So yeah, not only for PowerPC. Yesterday we only included one fix, but I have to wonder if bad alloc of internal compiler error. So that is SuperH, of course. That is not bug-free. People delete Itanium for not bug-free and not maintained, but yeah, why is SuperH still there? I'm not even saying, actually, I like all the stuff they write. I'm being ironic before people get some wrong idea here. So just testing how much other stuff breaks if either rebuilding GCC or, I mean, I wish the Free Software Foundation, just as yesterday's video, right? I wish the Software Foundation would be more responsible and release early and release often. It makes no sense to have hundreds of bug fixes in GCC and everyone needs to peel it out of there, because obviously it's not as amazing to import all those patches when they could just make one release. No, that was not yet enough. Or did I? Wait, I didn't regen the ISO. Maybe we should combine that, right? I'm not even sure. Yeah, historically, theoretically, you could have combined two builds, but I think maybe because it's of course a little bit error prone to always run this create ISO. I mean, people at home usually don't run that. Ah, now we have boot. That's exactly what I wanted. So now we have the second stage stuff there and a more complete generic boot thing. And so either with your embedded board bootloader, you could either boot that or in QEMU, let's MTD. I'm not even sure, but that's the thing, right? I personally didn't need that. I don't use it like this. I mean, obviously I'm not using SuperH daily. Fun fact, yes, we had, before you ask why do I even touch this stuff, yes, we had embedded projects 15 years ago when the stuff was more widespread in automotive and so on. But I'm not. So, just a family call later. In the meantime, of course, we build further through SuperH, so far mostly binutils fails. But the good thing is I don't have the most powerful SuperH things here. I believe currently I might only have a Dreamcast, which didn't test it in 15 years because how much memory did it have? 32, 16 megs? Something of that sort. Anyway, let's test the MIPSL and then another huge improvement, and that's community, right? It was good enough for me. I didn't use SuperH or MIPSL yeah, MIPSL I have an embedded board, right? The CI20 that MIPS Technologies sent some years ago. And there's the same thing, right? Although I believe it uses U-boot. How do you want to create an ISO? But that's a good idea, right? That is how we now create a generic ISO. Took some years, took some other people inquiring. Amazing stuff. Let's see. Did I document? I have here a list of QEMU runs. All right, maybe test QEMU. Do I have SuperH? No, I don't. Or S. Here I have actually some. SH does this. Nothing yet. So it should be possible to boot some SuperH, but that is so all the others worked. And we will automate this, right? Previous video, we are significantly expanding test coverage. So that's the ISOs we generate actually at least tested. It's very, very supported with QEMU. For example, MIP64 we can't directly test unless we build multiple kernels because we built one for Octane. So very theoretically, probably shall like subscribe future video. Maybe we should support multi-kernels, meaning building the kernel multiple times. Unfortunately, I don't appreciate the most. I would do it differently in my microkernel, which probably, knock on wood, I should do soon. So like more generic, not this one kernel only for IP27, IP30, IP32, IP35, MIPS goodness. So yeah, also to do ARM. So we need to check. Actually, ARM should probably nowadays be possible, right? So maybe we actually do that before release, and that is what makes our in releases increasingly amazing, right? Not only bugs fixed that nobody else fixed or doesn't apply for years, but also automated testing and so on and so on. So yeah, the good thing is, so previously we also changed it to create zoom links, so I can basically remove the version number here. So in the future we can simply rely on boot VM Linux being there because it will be a zoom link to the version build. Also more amazing. Do I have MIPS? Actually, I have MIPS here. MIPS, actually that worked. It was supposed to work. Not really sure. I don't have here serial, so I might have, if that previously worked, which probably it did. Let's see the new generic thing, and then we could also, next step, we could theoretically include a auto run script, similar to Windows auto run nonsense, but with a QEMU, right? So very theoretically, so that you wouldn't need to guess and Google how to launch QEMU very theoretically, which would be an amazing idea, which probably I should document instantly. And so that is like one more thing here. I mean, if you have passion and dedication and stuff, you have one more amazing idea every day, right? So that was generic ARM kernel, include QEMU run script on iSource and other amazing such stuff. So we should have here VM Linux. Here we we don't have a zoom link. Darn. Probably, so yeah, next to do, probably include VM Linux and stuff, zoom links in ISO2 for convenience. That would probably be the next amazing thing. Boot media. There. We have actually no graphic. Actually, what did I do? What did I just say? Did I not say tested whatever I tested there? Let's see if it does something. CMA. Oh, it does something. It even comes up. Indeed. Amazing. Hey, that even works. So yeah, that is, I mean, obviously a huge quality of life improvement. But that's kind of stuff, you are so blind, right? You're so used to your workflow. And just so what I usually do is I just extracted those, right? I use this ISO as a container. I just for all those tables, or yeah, extracted those, right, on some storage, MMC, SD card and stuff. Or usually what I usually did actually is in the running system, right, created a new folder and then extracted like natively running on the CI20 or such stuff. So SuperH is still building. So yeah, next thing is actually, next after this amazing build time estimation thing, we need a % counter there that, you know, the build should probably be mostly through. It's not that trivial due to our ASCII text file job management stuff, relatively expensive. I mean, if in % counter would be easy, it would long be there, but we would basically need to count the log files. Especially, you could always manually build stuff, which, I mean, obviously it should take care of, I mean, or we make it cheap and don't care about counting log files. Like the proper thing would be, because we use the log files to manage build status, the proper thing would be to recount the log files and see how many are still missing, like basically iterating all of them. It's a little bit expensive, especially on like a 40 megahertz Spark station, or an Intel Core i stuff, not Threadripper. But maybe we could do the cheap thing and just compute the total number of jobs, the total number of to be finished jobs first. Also, yeah, I need to see. It's not super. I mean, it's 2023, showing a % counter. Hey, even the Windows file copy thing doesn't have an amazing % counter, right? Or Apple's Finder. Yeah. So yeah, that builds. So that is already amazing. We probably could test this already. So yeah, this comes fully up, right? So yeah, probably next we could actually, but we would need like translate my current text file to, why does this not work? I probably didn't boot with Or did I? I didn't boot with CD-ROM. So ISO. Let's see that there is no media. Actually, I think that probably, maybe actually, and that's always the thing, right? One more thing. Okay, this comes fully up now as expected. And that is also why people increasingly use our Linux distribution, right? Because all the architectures that everyone just wants to delete, we maintain here with a passion, and everything just works. Here this implements MIP32R2. So yeah, we probably should. It's been, yeah. So that is funny because that this bug I see the first time. You know, the reason I see this bug of our installer trying to the mount fails because on a normal system you boot from this media, right? So only because out of the emulator I booted from external kernel files and not the media. It's a rare case. I mean, otherwise, how to reproduce this bug that I just found? I mean, we could also like, yeah, you'll not care, but hey, perfectionist, quality general, like, yeah, quality engineering, right? Yeah, it's like you're not like ignoring error cases. So to reproduce this on a real hardware would be you boot from that, and when the bootloader loaded the Linux kernel and the Linux kernel initializes, you pull out the media or CD-ROM, eject the CD-ROM. That would be use case, otherwise the media is always there. So what did it actually, let's boot one more time to fully see that. And maybe we try then also SuperH should have worked, but didn't. But maybe we give that 10 more minutes to also tackle SuperH. So, okay, it tried that. It doesn't have a media. I slightly wonder. So probably this is hiding the mount error. Target. Share install. Which one would that probably be? Try mount. Somewhere of try mount that media, image, CD media, unmount. Okay, so there is it. So this is probably, so if try mount media, then only then do that, hiding some error stuff, right? Okay, that probably is a try mount. Does this properly return? Try best match, detect root as first, or the other thereafter for file system disk type. I guess we need a manual return one. I mean, okay, we have still a couple of more packages. Actually, I thought, okay, so what do we even build? So that is SuperH. Okay, whatever. So there's a SuperH build. I wonder if we built all of, did we promote it to all of desktop? Minimal desktop. So desktop without Firefox probably builds XFCE. Probably takes another 15 minutes. Yeah. So ISO. Did I have this mounted? U mount, remount, QEMU. Let's see if this should. But that is dedication and perfection, right? Like not ignoring this when you like also look. You probably most people have overlooked this, right? But I worked so hard the last 5 years because I neglected. I said this before. I maintained this for 25 years, which previously was Rock Linux, T2 since 2003 or so. And because the year of the Linux desktop never came, I neglected the desktop stuff for over 10 years and only maintained core stuff. So when I started live streaming here, live on YouTube, maintaining all this stuff, there were much more random messages of this failed, that failed, UDEF here. And for years I was like, yeah, whatever, it works. So I spent so much time perfecting all this not to have random nonsense. So yeah, no image found. So yeah, this is obviously much better. Error is gone. And this is why I noticed this, right? Most people would have glanced over that, but given how much I polished that, I immediately realized, wait a second, what is this random stuff there? So let's boot with media and see if that auto loads. How much memory do we even give that R512? Certainly very, very clean boot thing here, right? So yeah, that works as intended. One more thing I didn't even expect to do. I have not a long copyright note in there for reasons. Okay, copyright is still. So let's, darn, there's more free memory. That's unfortunate. So professionally you don't commit this together. But we have some stuff to build anyway. So what then another pro tip, right? If you're new to all this stuff, what I usually do is manually revert some stuff. So so all this memory stuff is here. Okay, we have here some overlap. That is unfortunate. I mean, you could revert that in some editor. I usually do it like that. I find it more professional and faster. So these are 3 lines context here, 3 lines context here. So that is 9. Let's edit that here for 9 to, that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that is the 9 to 10. Patch, wait, did I even? I said, okay, fine. Patch, dry run, reverse diff. Probably fine. Checking for any didn't complain. And so improved generic and what is it? Target share install. I usually, instead of writing generic install whatever, I usually just pass install Initrd take swap. That's swap, right? Yeah, for P3 VRAM into count for second stage selection 2. And then apply this again. So of course you don't mix this, right? I've seen this so often over the decades. The most many commercial companies do not work that precise. Historically, for 20 years, open source projects were so much better to have a good version source. Because in big mega corporation, most people didn't care and didn't have experience and nobody sees it. Historically, big business source trees usually way more convoluted, less cleaner, committed and stuff, usually huge changes and white space and identity and stuff. It's not good style, right? Only recurring pro tip, only commit one thing at a time. I violate this only very seldomly when it's like super small travel stuff. I sometimes mix it. I like version update with some white spacing or version update with some small fixes stuff. But like this kind of stuff, like memory stuff and mount stuff does not belong together. Leave your comment down below and stuff. So fixed installer to not try. Actually, theoretically, we could reuse the same file name, and sorry you didn't see that. To target share install init. Do we still build? Okay, ELL also failed. That's unfortunate. So somehow it's like people want to delete Itanium, but hey, SuperH, like in Itanium, in contrast to popular belief and misreporting on big media, on Itanium all of this builds, right? And on SuperH nobody talks about, like certainly way more deprecated and less used than big iron enterprise reliable integrity IA64 Titanium. It's like, hey, maybe delete SuperH first. Like, of course, don't delete SuperH first. But it's like, hey, this stuff is more broken than Itanium. But what do I know? Just some tiny little YouTube guy who, with this tiny little company, maintaining everything as a hobby that big mega corporations can't. But what do I know about this? It's not the most important. We could force us. So what? Because I'm not debugging GCC every day, right? And it's also the job of the Free Software Foundation and stuff. It's not like. What I usually do is, so this is still smart. Let's see if maybe this goes away with speed sensor. Smart is O size speed. So the reason this sometimes breaks more fragile is because exotic optimizations like speed or fast are not as tested, and it's just putting more complex burden on the compiler, which of course it should just work, but often it doesn't. Fixed target chain stall Initrd, not access files or unknown after failed mount, media mount. So yeah, fixed target share to not access files or unknown. Do we write unmount or umount? I guess umount. By the way, fun anecdote, I heard one Unix programmer from maybe Reggie Kernel, some of them once said, if one thing they regret is naming some Unix stuff so shitty, like umount, right? Once someone of them said, like, I wish I could go back in time and name umount, unmount, and similar such stuff. Just anecdoted. So leave me. If you remember that, quote below, viewer comments down below. It builds surprisingly long, as it should only build 1 second, so I have the impression that still is less than, somehow, what's going on there? Some minute, some algorithm is not working. We could try if rebuilding GCC, because this is also built with different optimizations, should not have an effect. But let's see if we rebuild the cross compiler, if this improves things. I don't have the highest hopes, but we could try. We could then also simply disable ELL and whatever the other dependency was for SuperH for now, because for such exotic stuff that I do not run daily here in the office, I wait for your patches to play along at home. So otherwise I just disable it for nothing to see. All the other stuff mostly works. I would, right now we need to wait there shortly. I mean, we could also try with even less optimizations, right? We could actually try to optimize as only O1 instead of O2. It's probably good enough for most things anyway. Just some workarounds to get something shipping, because obviously we can't fix everything for everyone, unless you're Patreon and super think and stuff. So the other thing we wanted to commit is this generic boot stuff. So disk, what do we have there? Oh yes, there's some stuff. What did I do there? Probably just some nonsense. I'm not really sure why I have that there. Probably I tested something. Probably I have this there. I probably tested some LLVM include path stuff. Similar to this, should not be there. Probably only tested something. Let's test. I believe it was 2 bin utils also failed. Bin utils is similar. Bin utils. And what did we have there? What is target functions? Oh, this is just certification. That is entirely, yeah, so we should do that, but not, let's maybe revert it. It's pointless to do like that. I had reformatted quite some T2 sources. Let's better put this on the to do some more function removal in Arch and MISC. I had done this tree-wide, but I overlooked some files in architecture and MISC. Initrd builds. It builds surprisingly long. It probably didn't fix that. The other was EEL, right? Was it EEL or ELL? Maybe EEL, yeah, modern library. Yeah, of course it was embedded Linux library stuff. So what else? What do we have there? This is also mostly random stuff, except we basically. So yeah, this maybe I just added V. I wanted to see something, and then I did some white space. So what as I mentioned previously, this verbose copy is not important, and the other white space I rather do tree-wide in a single atomic commit. So revert that, and so here that didn't fix the thing. That kind of boards this already. This full internal compiler error. All right. So as far as I've seen, as long as it runs, and I guess there was a bad alloc exception. So 2023, after 30 years, 40 years of development, GCC still on new regression out of memory for SuperH and similar such architectures. Amazing. Would need to treat them. So we could actually go, I mean, maybe we could actually check if that is fixed in, by the way, if this is fixed in the latest stable release series, not yet released patches. All right, here do we still? I have this still there apparently, which would be amazing for the testing. Do we have here? What was the name of fast? Yeah, I had reinstated someone. Okay. Let's try this with lazy and see if that magically. So yeah, the naming sucks. It is what it is. I would wish we could go back in time, but it is what it is. Why don't I use a separate window TTY for quicker switches? Because I don't put there, I mean, I put there a thing or two. I don't need to waste one permanent window. Also, I don't like to keep editors open so long, because not that you accidentally press some X or D and accidentally delete some stuff. So that is fine. I'm not constantly editing that. It's usually like once every 30 minutes to put or delete something. So yeah, lazy is also not the biggest success story here. So yeah, more. You know what? Let's apply this GCC patch and see if they have fixed this in the meantime. And Mipsel, alright, we wanted to commit the stuff MISC. What is left? Boot, what is that here? Do we still need this? Did I commit this? probably, so we probably don't need this. I probably even, I mean, one thing looked committed. And welcome everyone. Ah, yeah, right. We had this cherry picked, so GCC hotfix range. This is part of this latest. Yeah, the Free Software Foundation GCC really should, in my opinion, like monthly, like such major system component things, like similar to Linux kernel, like if there are significant bug fixes, in my opinion, my humble opinion. I mean, even LVM Clang do it, right? Like 2023, LVM Clang beta release. Actually, speaking of which, do they have something? Our data doesn't find it the most reliable. So yeah, even they, like 1704, right? Oh, 05, speaking of which, right? And if this continues, we soon build everything with freaking LVM Clang. I mean, not that they would probably have SuperH support. It's like, hey, GCC Free Software Foundation, I called you out on my more main channel. Release early, release often. Look at LVM Clang stuff of, like, if there are broken things in your compiler, you want that all the 2137 new version update to that, and not each of them discover their floating point miscompilation, one miscompilation at a time. Undefined behavior has value. Fix test run test on clear FP pragma stack when functions. I mean, these are even on a first glance not the like MIPS. These are not even the super most high profile things, and they do it, right? So you should do too, especially you don't have as many components as LVM, plus you are still the primary compiler for most of the 2000 Unix distributions. So. It's of course silly that we need to give Free Software Foundation, with all their legacy history and published books, open source, Cathedral and Bada, code maintenance and release guidance here. So 1703, we had of course 04 whatever, but this is just in this cached thing. While cut delimiter, you see that right? Field 5, I believe. I'll read pdo P1705 done. Alright, somehow this. Just wanted to make check that we don't have any. Script P, why is that not? Oh, so I did something. Grab cut. Ah, here. That looks better. Another small little thing while at it. Hey, that. Wow. So some of those other patches fix SuperH. I can't believe it. So the problem is then, when do they, I mean, maybe it's and that's the problem, right? On the other more main channel, Free Software Foundation callout video, people were fighting me, Free Software Foundation is not the vendor and all the Linux should just cherry pick it and stuff. It's like, yeah, thank you very much. Not only you wasted hours of my time that I found miscompilations here, and yesterday with PowerPC, today with SuperH, but yes, thank you very much, cherry picking, right? There are 100 changes. Which of those would fix just that, right? What probably is a more convenient thing is to make a diff, git diff from last tag to head of branch, and just dump the 100 kilobyte of patch in there, of having other. But that's the thing, right? If you don't release early, release often, all the 2137 news distribution each need to either cherry pick or get all the. It's like, yeah, why not release early and release often then, right? Let's double check if that fixes SuperH building with smart test then. Let's redo that. Also for bin utils, and I believe also LVM previously failed, probably. Yeah, that actually indeed fails. I mean, yeah, we could go through the changes and try maybe some memory allocation or infinite loop, not terminating whatever change, but question there, seriously, why are we on OnlyFans? Because people subscribe there. Earns already, why not? If people don't like Patreon or GitHub, and also to troll, once they want to be they want to become more successful. They're not successful. They want to become more professional, whatever they call it. Why not? The irony is, the person who also, like, once I had the comment, like, I tried, like, seriously, someone subscribed to OnlyFans to write me. They tried to write me an email, but it went into the spam folder, so they subscribed to OnlyFans. No, it's like, yes. It's like, there is money, I take it. I'm already underpaid doing IBM's and Intel's and AMD's job here, previous video, AMD errata. Like, why not? I'm not picky, money is money. I already have too little of that, doing all the open source work all day long. So seriously, why not? So, MIPS, we were still in the middle of committing stuff. And by the way, if Linus Tech Tips is on OnlyFans, why not we, right? I mean, obviously our tech tips are more professional, so. What you do there is live coding, or what you do there, live coding, or what? No, I just used it as a donation, and I don't do there something. Sometimes I post hardware photos like precious high resolution Spark, PowerPC, or other such fine vintage gear. It's just another source of people to leave their credit cards at there. You know what? You will be surprised how many more people have already an OnlyFans account and not a Patreon account. Like, why should I not offer OnlyFans if a higher percentage of the population is on OnlyFans than on Patreon? Like, why not give them a chance to donate me some money? So, yeah. And so how do you deal with dark circles? I have a lot, how can I remove that? Which dark circles? What do you mean with that? How you deal with dark circles? I don't even know what you mean with dark circles. I only know about dark bugs, but please enlighten me. Okay, there's also something failing. What is failing here now? Bin utils ELL, what else failed? Lib ical failed, thank you very much. How does this even fail? Is it something else? Fatal error, no such file, see. This might simply be another directory, freaking directory now. This might be, we just need to rebuild the other, you know what? Under I dark circles, I don't know. Try products. You're seriously asking me? Coming here live on this channel, beauty tips, beauty and tech tips, live here on yours truly, one and only. Under the I dark circles, IFNUR, what helps is using all the leftover products your girlfriend or wife doesn't like, your significant other. So may I present to you all the stuff my girl buys and doesn't like applied to my face. Is that not beauty? Also saves you tons of money and doesn't cost you a thing, and saves the environment by not throwing away 90% unused products that you can apply to your skin. Yeah, but if in question, ask your pharmacist, doctor, or personal beauty, whatever, advisor. Learn to build kernel like you. Any suggestions? Programming languages for beginners? I suggest maybe even Rust. I would not suggest C for beginners. I'm not the super... I mean, C sucks, as truth be told. Yes, I master it. C sucks anyway. Maybe Rust. I would not do Java anymore. Java always sucked too. I would probably, to be honest, I'm not 100% amazingly perfect with Rust, but it's one of the better languages, so also teaches you a thing about doing memory safety right. Otherwise, I always recommend do what you're interested in. If you are interested in GPU stuff, look into GPU stuff, maybe write a small graphic splitting game or whatever, or fix other small inconveniences that you might encounter on your during your daily stuff. So, we still have stuff to commit. People asking too many beauty questions here. MISC tools. You probably want to subscribe to my OnlyFans for the most appropriate IT beauty tips. Just subscribe there and ask there to remind me. So we need that file and architecture share boot in. And we probably should check if we actually have useful stuff in this file, so that media boot ext Linux. I should double check the syntax. I'm not sure if it... wait, we did that wrong. Good that we double check it. I believe the syntax is slightly different. There's fancy key combinations and then they don't do. And so I believe the syntax is without this. And so yeah, that probably is better. Let's see, RISC-V unmatched. Do we have an not working? Let's see, unmatched image not working. Bring up compatible. Another ext. Linux conf. Did we name it conf? We didn't name it conf. This is why I double check stuff. Conf. Here, label, kernel and stuff. Okay, we could have that kernel, FTD init, RD append. Okay, so this stuff we don't need. Label. Label, yada yada, blah blah blah, this stuff. So probably label that and maybe menu. This is more verbose, huh? Label. Maybe not in quotes, just to be on the safe side. Menu label. What was there? Three. Menu label 3. What else do we have there? T2 installation, mini RD. Let's use the same here. I have no idea if this will work. I will find out some not. So this is only illustration purposes and helping people to use it. It should obviously be somewhat correct, but if it's slightly off, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so this GCC stuff there works and further. Amazing. It's amazing that it's fixed in their release tree. It would also be amazing if they release early and release often. What about C++ for that purpose? 20 years ago, I was a huge fan. 20 years ago, there was no Rust. 20 years ago, C++ was the best we had. I was more of a C++ fan than C, although I mastered both. The problem with C++ is the new version became, in my opinion, too convolutedly complex. So yeah, C++, but the problem is that C++ is mostly backward compatible, and while some people love it, the problem is that a lot of people fall back into doing C++ like C with classes if you're not careful, and C++ I would therefore only recommend the decade older before C++ 17 or whatever that was. But in general, I mean, Rust has a brighter future. Rust has more memory safety, as also not perfect as it is, but yeah, you can do it. I would recommend C++ over C, but like trying to ignore the old C-like things, which is a bit of a problem for a beginner, because maybe a lot of tutorials, books and stuff may not sufficiently point out what is legacy C, legacy ANSI C, or ISO C, and you should rather not do in C++. But yeah, it's too many programming languages. Too many languages on this planet, and too many programming languages, probably, but leave in the comments below. Heard Linux kernel is still using, yeah, the Linux kernel is using C with some new Rust components. Why not more Rust or something faster? C is as fast as you get. Rust is not necessarily faster. That all of this is a myth. And why not migrate? Because the Linux kernel has millions lines of code. It would literally take decades to migrate all the code, and migrating all the code will be difficult. So migrating a lot of memory unsafe things you cannot directly migrate. So this would mean rewriting huge parts of subsystems and algorithms in different ways. So that is a multi-$100 million, decade-long migration. So just like, yeah, if you have hundreds of millions and decades of human resources, then good luck migrating that. There is a new completely in Rust kernel that is Reduxo, as I would like, probably a good thing to look into that if you want to learn something. But yeah, you're not getting that much faster than C. Sure, at times it can be easier to write good algorithms in Rust. So the only reason why Rust sometimes is faster is either the LVM-backed Rust compiler generates better code, or Rust can make it easier to write better algorithms. Of course, you can always write the same algorithms in C, but it might simply be more difficult, which is sometimes the myth of, hey, I've rewritten it in Rust and it's faster. Like, yeah, sure, but the algorithms then are different, right? It would be the same. I made the C code faster by implementing better algorithms. It's like, yeah, It's like, if you implement better. But yeah, again, this is why I say probably better learn Rust. It also helps you with memory safety and focusing on writing algorithms and not focusing on debugging memory and pointer corruption and other memory unsafety. C is fastest and there are more. So, but again, so C is fastest is not entirely right? If you, other stuff can be faster. For example, if you C is statically compiled, your mileage may vary, right? If you, C++ can be faster if you write, because it can allow you, of course, if you write shitty C++ code, it will be slower, but if you write good C++ code, it can be faster than C simply by, similar to Rust, allowing you to concentrate on algorithms and so on. Or for example, like is the way, so for example, some of my C++ stuff is simply faster than C because if you write this in C, it is so old-fashioned that, for example, image processing, if you write that in C, you usually write very old-fashioned static code. And when you use C++ metaprogramming, you can write much more readable and better performing code by having, for example, your algorithms instantiated by C++ template metaprogramming for your types used, for example, which you cannot, which in C would simply mean either a really ugly C preprocessor, macro preprocessor, programming to achieve something similar and so on. So mileage may vary, right? Also, I mean, assembler can be faster if you're good with stuff and so on. And also C and C++ are statically compiled, right? A lot of stuff can actually be faster. Like you compile it once to send it to the world, and then you're not using AVX, AVX 512 and AVX2 or ARM, SVM and so on. So given how static C code is, dynamically jitted code with other languages can at times also be faster simply by jitting the highest performance code actually using all the vector extensions. Previous video on my moment channel. So the mileage may vary, right? C, you can write the fastest code in C, but sometimes you also need to resort to inline assembly. Like, so you cannot, also you obviously cannot do everything in C or Rust. Sometimes you need to resort to inline assembly to achieve certain machine specifics. So yeah, things are complicated. It's not always that easy. There is a lot of myth out there and misconception and so on. What do you think is the most unique thing? Right about the Linux? What do you think is the most unique thing? There, I would not. I don't. It's pretty straightforward, old-fashioned C code. Maybe the most wired thing is that they put eBPF and JIT code in the kernel now. That is maybe the most wired thing, wired and complex and so on. And then the other thing then is now IOU ring for maybe previous video on my moment channel for new high performance ring buffered system call, asynchronous system call stuff. So, but yeah, if you watch this later and stuff has other comments, comment your comments below. So ISO, let's test if that generates some useful looking file. So this is config now. Label, or menu label is not identified appropriately. That could work. All right, we wanted to use, we wanted to remove the and that is why we double check that, right? Especially when I talk so much. I had this already edited, but then I undid that. So why does this? Oh, okay, this is a tab. Okay, whatever. We space that. So, but now finally, were those files? Okay, now we built the Linux kernel. Maybe we have a chance to one last thing test SuperH, probably another hour. Easily stream another hour here. What do I think Python for beginners? I'm not a great fan of Python. Python is a very complex, convoluted language with also, yeah, once upon a time Ruby was actually, it is crazy that not like often very imperfect, strange, complex languages, similar to Windows, right? Like market share 80%, but also 80% buggy, right? Or it's like the worst solution often gets the biggest market share stuff. So also Python breaks too often and incompatible. And yeah, I mean, you can also, it's slow and stuff, right? For me, I mean, BASIC truly sucks, right? BASIC was like some 8-bit YouTubers like, hey, BASIC and stuff like I as an 8-year-old in 18 years ago really hated BASIC. Like I as an 8-year-old found BASIC limiting, right? I saw like had a BASIC book. It's like dude, what garbage language is that, right? And similar to me, Python, sure, Python can do more than BASIC, but for me using Python is a bit like basics, like dude, this language sucks so much. But leave me in the, yeah, for beginners of the first things. But for Python, like if you, it depends, right? If you only do some biochemistry, whatever such scripting stuff, but Python is of course not for high performance application and operating system stuff and so on, right? So did we forget anything here? But as usual, if this triggers people and stuff, leave in the comments below. So then, or did I? Probably that, right? that is generic boot stuff implemented generic. So you don't see that because 16 by 10 screen. Generic, damn, I need more coffee. Generic ISO boot directory boot ext conf generation. Better than nothing, and a huge quality of life improvement for all those who increasingly load and use our just working perfected Linux distribution, like just working vanilla unencumbered Linux distribution for their professional needs, right? They can just load that. Architecture boot, like, hope I didn't. There's too much changes. I still need to clean this up. So SuperH, amazing. Let's rerun this just to make sure that's the latest code that run. What do we have there? GCC is some duplicate file. That doesn't matter too much. So we have the same now for SuperH, right? That should generate, unless we have. I mean, once upon a time we had this. Did we ever commit the Sega Dreamcast bootable? Oh, apparently not. ISO SuperH. And let's try to boot that because it's not mounted. Let's see, what do we even build that for? I wonder if we still boot that for Dreamcast by default, which probably is not the best default anymore. SuperH. Now we have here some, I also some SH2, maybe that is an issue. We probably need to boot, so we are building Super SH4. So we probably want to change that. Size probably will keep on arrow. And IT student, comment there, most important thing to learn. What is the actual most important thing to learn in the industry about Linux? Well, you can use any, you can learn any anything you learn about Linux you will find use in the industry, whether networking or other things. But I would focus on like what do you study precisely and where. I would focus on theory and algorithms and data structures and stuff. I would focus on generic stuff like that is not, in my opinion, computer science, right? How to operate an operating system or other surrounding stuff is also quickly replaceable, in my opinion. Not the greatest value in that. Just learn all the generic stuff, compiler, algorithms, graph theory, math, and all the surrounding system architecture. Like the others, like that is theory, in my opinion, computer science theory and stuff. It's not like practical trainee in how to operate. That's less of an importance, I would say, but correct me if I'm wrong. Discovered your videos recently. Good morning from the USA. Happy to hear that. Good morning there. It's already, I still need to rush to lunch. 1400 here. Nearly 1338, 1340. So Linux, let's see what we need to change here for eval make menu config. And let's see what other, what is 17.6? Which one here is super? SH4. So they say system. Please note U-boot and Linux kernel is a second physical serial port for console. Serial null, serial, okay. Okay, which one is now? Solution engine does maybe not sound. Yeah. Where is the SuperH staging patch trace patch? Target. Modify compiler documentation. The and R2D board and the SHIX. Okay, let's better check if we have some default config there. Arch sh R2 that's successful. R2D R2D1 there is some RTS R2D plus. Nah. D1 sounds probably. Here is some stuff. Here's some console TTY SC1. Okay, very not the most dev config. Oops. Oh, we don't even have a Linux conf here. Ah, it's also wrong. Ah, wrong directory. Let's just drop that in there. Yeah, you know what? Let's leave it in there and hope for the. Ah, darn! No, I cancelled that wrong. I typed too fast and then instant regret. Here's actually Dreamcast. Wait, we have actually some module selection. So yeah, we had professional users of this stuff, right? So maybe we should not have. Where is this? Doesn't look the most amazing. Do we have here boards? So that is board dev. I would personally put a space here. Where is this board used? Or only for here's some package Linux post. Ah, here is some okay, someone wired here this up to I mean, theoretically we wouldn't need that because it should use the T2 default generated configs, and let's redo that here. And what are we building right here? We are building Linux distribution, 25 years in the making, increasingly thought after by professionals for a clean, professionally maintained, just working architecture support stuff from Itanium over Alpha to SuperH, but also running here, live streaming straight here from T2 freaking just working Linux. TM. Let's add to this board. I'm not sure if that is the right board we need, but it surely doesn't hurt to add, say, one more board. Source Linux. This will RTS. So I'm guessing, right? I mean, you would really hope Linux kernel someone would have documented that. Also SuperH or SH as SuperH4 maybe. Integration. Serial is broken. Here is maybe config R2D dev config R2D R2D dev config does not match. Here is architecture R2D. Okay, config source. Okay, let's R2D. Did I not? Where did I find this? Just so SH. Here's boards. Okay, config. Subsystem, yada yada, configure sales SH graphics boards. Maybe that is something we have there already. Just need to check. Okay, this is that one here, Renaissance Technology Sales SH graphics boards. Fair enough. Architecture, so we need to select that, obviously. Config SuperH for Renaissance Sales Graphics. This one here, Sales SH graphics boards, right? Let's save that here for my permanent build all thing. And let's see what happens. People enjoy, like Germany, very cool company work for, based out of Ludwigsburg. Can't wait to visit them next few years. That is amazing. So let's double check that this builds something reasonable. I would hope. So yeah, this dev config should. Select something reasonable. R2. No. Some of this didn't select the right. Good that we double check that. So RTS whatever, that should directly exist in source Linux arch sh config dev config. That should be in there. So architecture, SuperH. SH dev config. Why did they copy that here? I don't understand. Post patch 3. They only, it's just for illustration purposes or what? Something doesn't fully work quite right there, I believe. Let's do that again and this add just I did this wrong. Very clever of adding that there. Enabling shell extrace. Where do we? So somewhere we have some patching, more patching. So here's our config. The question is, theoretically, we don't even need. Oh yes, running all this complex stuff. Running make. Maybe they run this at the wrong place, because I have not done that. Okay, that is. Did this even run at all? Config? I have the feeling this somehow. I mean, the thing is, it's also pretty wasteful. Some of this is done not very good post patch. Maybe that should rather be something we pre-make. The question is there a hook add? Is there any typo? You know what, we can maybe better echo running, just to see in the log file better where this was. Running, here's dev config. So it should have run. The question is, did it run previously? Somehow this is I don't know, this looks strange. All right, did we? We didn't run it in this. All right, we didn't run it because I changed it to echo. Can't find default configuration. There's one. This is why also this probably somehow previously the error was just hidden somehow or didn't even run. So it looks like they changed the name also. This is also so. What even is here going on? This is just strangely line wrapping. Okay, D1 it was it that? Okay, that looks better. We need to update all the instances of that to D1, I believe it was, and just edit that there. And our actual temporary configuration. And let's, right, and we cancel this again in the wrong moment. I mean, so far I didn't ruin a config. Knock on wood. What did I? All right, we had an echo here in. Let's see if that finally works better. What? RTD, okay, so that finally looks better. Which CPU is that? Because we built for... Okay, SH4. That looks... What? Command line option. M4, no FPU? What? Command line option M4, no FPU is not supported by this configuration. Oops. Why did this previously build? But it looks, does it need to... There's always something that doesn't work. Unrecognized. Oh wait, does it? Oh, wrong compiler. Wrong. That is really unfortunate. Why is this not supported? Is that because we add something else? That's a bit unfortunate. I need to, there's always one more thing, right? You think you're finally done at the end of an hour or two, and then stuff still doesn't work. What was not supported? I don't know if slightly. So it should be in the top level make file, is it not? No. Notice I just grabbed that wrong. No, or whatever. 2a if CPU let's just see how much it would maybe build. Maybe we need to multi-lib build it differently. Maybe I'm not the greatest fan of that. Or whatever strange stuff there. I mean, did something. Not really sure what. Okay, let's patch that in for a try. I have no idea if this will work. If the kernel wants no floating point in the kernel. Maybe it will break, but let's patch that. And I just need to redo that because I just had edited the file. Question there, do we sometimes do pair programming? Seems all the experts never do. What precisely, I mean, I do pair programming live on YouTube, but what precisely else? I mean, when I'm not live streaming, I need to get some other work done. But, I mean, beside open source pair programming asynchronously remotely over the internet. But leave me a comment below what precisely you mean. No FPU off. I'm not wanted. Maybe he wants. Oh wait, this is. Edited the wrong. Yeah, it needs to be debugged, but whatever. Need to investigate what's going on there, why, if it works, we will see in a moment, and then we call it, then we wrap it up and call it a day. Oops. Nothing like touching your mouth my life on this channel. Did I mention more coffee? Let's just check our Discord and Parry, what else is going on here. Okay, that built something. And then let's probably see if it does something in QEMU. Last time it didn't, but the last time we didn't have some matching kernel, and they didn't have quite the most. So SH. So do I have here serial none? No, I don't. No, to do nothing yet, I also didn't have the right kernel. That certainly should help. Let's see kernel, VM Linux, Initrd, Initrd. Ah, so it somehow had serial null, right? I mean, either without that. Oh, did I not edit that away? Maybe still does nothing yet. Try replacing serials, not always serial mon. Also be able to use QEMU. And is there anything else off? This is the same or? Okay, that's not giving much yet. Maybe we need command line. Maybe we don't need that. So some other page that. It's on the second. Yeah, 2.6, whatever. Okay, it indeed, okay, I saw this in the kernel, so where do they have append a lot of nonsense? Thank you very much. Where is the serial? Kernel, drive. Strange. So this append would mean the second, so we probably need serial. Well, let's maybe better put the machine early. Not sure in which order QEMU initializes the devices here. No, nothing yet. Did it by default? Supply frame buffer? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, that's still not working. That's unfortunate. Yeah, maybe it needs no FP. Okay, it really wants M4 no FP here. Let's see. NuxCurl does force compilers no FP, which only available in building multi-lib. Interesting part here is use it as but enables Swiss multi-lib and for QEMU targeting this rails in Toolchain, which can be used for the kernel and reason without creating a multi-lib toolchain with different consolidations. That is crazy. I didn't expect that you combine it like that. Okay, let's try to build our. Okay, maybe that is. It is possible. So we would need to analyze this, right? QEMU register dumps. Let's see what is executing there and so on. But this was a hot hack, which probably is not appropriate. Not fix. Nice typo there. So I had GCC crazily patched. So interesting. What? Hotfixes. SuperH. No, Multi-lib. That's committed, right? Yeah. So I patched that, which apparently maybe wasn't the best idea. With multi-libs and multi-lib list. So they want disable multi-lib. Okay, we do that, but multi-lib list, interesting. Actually, T2 had something like that. I remember I patched something like I was probably thinking, what the heck is going on here? I remember that my friend and colleague had something like that here, and I was like, dude, what the heck is going on here? Because it wasn't building for me. Jesus, crazy man, instead simply so 54,850. 54,850. Here is list, yeah. Here was indeed okay. Reverse merge. But revert that here. And no, should contain, certainly be in zinc. M4, comma, M4, no. I'm not sure if both lines, actually I should one day check that. The question is, do we supply a multi-lib list if it's disabled? No, we don't. Pass multi-lib list even when disabled, e.g. for SuperH. Can't mix this nonsense up. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I see myself already debugging another hour of GCC stuff. Oh, cool, also syntax error. All right, this is empty now. Yeah, modern shell stuff. That can't be empty for stupid reasons. So, I mean, we don't really need that then, right? So, I mean, theoretically. Where's my eye now? Gotta love. quickly. Let's see what happens. There's my eye. There my eye went. 196. Oops. So, more comments. What Linux distribution are you using? I'm using, since 25 years, only T2, which was previously Rock Linux. My alright, now live streaming from that, right? A just simple, no frills, just working for all architectures, like the probably Genesis world record winning nominated, supporting all architectures, most architectures, right? Like probably more than Debian. We did SVN up, so we had manually. And that supports everything from Alpha, Spark, RISC-V, SuperH, right? And live streaming from the Steam Deck. The high performance, just simply clean Linux solution you ever wanted and asked for. Hotfix range. More comments. Sometimes peppering. Wondering how you can get that. Wondering how can we get that font? That font is Comic Code, a commercial font, but Comic Sans so is similar but not as amazing. So by the way, I need coffee. While my coffee machine boots, that is perfect code, right? All architectures, while Linus Torvalds tells you Itanium is too complicated and convoluted and too different to support, hey, we, with minimal resources and a fraction of the investment of the Linux Foundation, support your freaking everything in one of the most clean, minimalistic, and just working Linux distributions, right? So probably don't delay. Try it out for free today. Or go Patreon, super, thank, chat, GitHub sponsor. So that was a cross compiler, then to Linux. Comic Code, yes, Comic Code, one of the best fonts to improve your mood while hunting bugs and regressions. So amazing, we fixed another obscure configuration thing just before release. Let's see if that magically fixes our kernel to work. QEMU and stuff. Oh, we got more. Amazing. Hey, look at that. No FP stuff fixed something. SM501. So yeah, we went from nothing to SuperH. I mean, 15 years ago we were running Linux on my friend's Dreamcast, but now 15 years later, live on YouTube, we also run it in QEMU, which obviously is super amazing. Let's see, what does it have here? Did we Initrd? Why does it fail? SuperH and stuff. Cut here, failed. Kernel bug at gen alloc. Okay, somehow that's somehow not amazing. Like, yeah, and thanks for this amazing super chat. Highly recommended, of course, all the Patreon, GitHub sponsorship and YouTube super thanks and stuff keep me motivated, and the electricity bill and stuff paid, right? Or investments like for you playing along at home, making sure that latest RISC-V stuff works and we can get some stuff here. Highly appreciated. Can't applaud and thank that enough. So yeah, so this looks to me like mostly working, can't be that bad. Funny that this is probably Silicon Motion as a USB. We could so what to do? I mean, besides this looks like a generic bug. So much to Linus Torvalds need to delete Itanium because unmaintained, but SuperH kernel bug can't even like previous memory discussions, right? Why you probably want to learn Rust nowadays first. Memory management is difficult even for the Linux kernel. As a USB, so it looks like there are obviously bugs. It shouldn't bug like that. I mean, it could also be always emulation glitches of executing random stuff, but this works too much to be imperfect emulation. You always need to be difficult, which is also why I keep hardware around, right, to double check stuff that actually works on real hardware. Huge difference at times. As some USB error thing failed, we might, so whatever that is that the top level USB controller or? We could try do two things. We could try to disable the driver because for now we don't need it and hope that these bugs go away. We could build this plus thing, maybe that is more the plus flavor, I don't know, of this hardware. I mean, I would of course always argue that this stuff shouldn't fail. Maybe we quickly check what this SM501 thing is. I wonder if we can hook into the dev config. Where do we, all right, maybe that is in config in somewhere. Here, auto config. To disable stuff, is it disabling also? I mean, we could, or should we use this as a base and then on top run? Do we merge that? Do we delete that? What do we do? Copy. So we, oh, this is using this is overwriting that. Okay, we can't use that as a base. Just wonder how we best can disable that. Let's maybe quickly check what driver that is. I'm not familiar with that one. We did 3D on a Silicon Motion chip, previous video 3 years ago, somewhere there on this or the main channel, on a transmitter Crusoe. That is a Silicon Motion, but I guess that is a host controller, but I would need to check. Maybe with menu config. Also need coffee. Was it SM501 or? Yeah, that's a frame buffer. Or don't tell me that fails. Did it not SM? But it said USB, didn't it? Nah, too much. Did it not say USB here? Why does it say SM? But it says OHCI. So funny. So there's a Silicon Motion 501 frame buffer and USB. That's confusing. I wonder, is there even a new USB bus? I wonder if we can disable that in QEMU. I mean, yeah, theoretically we should fix the bug for real, but I'm after, it's like, And Linus Torvalds deletes my favorite Itanium architecture. I'm not fixing his memory allocation bugs. 501. Okay, we have MFD and USB. What do we have here for USB? I mean, we could also simply disable all of USB. Or is it generic? Is this a generic OHCI? I'm not even sure which driver that is. SM501, this is so strange. Here is some, oh, this is MFD? It's indeed MFD. Oh no, there is also, oh, here's also that. This MFD is, okay. So that is a, I guess, serial I/O SD card. Attached USB thing, I guess. Request interrupt 116 failed. Yeah, error handling difficult, right? Here's a serial. Here's already IRQ 116. That's already on the serial controller. Maybe that doesn't have shared interrupt stuff. I mean, we don't really need that, right? We could maybe patch that for. Let's try to patch that and see if it. The only question is, if that's the only attached storage, then it doesn't help us the most. But it's huge progress, right? Improving, I mean, not only all the generic stuff, but also improving the SuperH configuration to build some strange multi-lib, pseudo not multi-lib, but no floating point support thing. Plus, of course, figuring that the GCC release series unreleased patches fix major SuperH regressions. I mean, I sit here for months, stuff randomly segmentation faults. One was, I mean, we are going here from finding an AMD CPU errata that caused my Spark GCC to segmentation fault to, hey, GCC even with 13.2 or so is still so buggy that other stuff even without AMD CPU erratas out of memory fails. Yeah, why we can't have nice things in 2023. Bugs everywhere, from CPUs to compilers. So arch sh dev configs rd2 1 and then MFD. It is funny that this is indeed using. I wish I need to, like, has someone this board? I would love, like, given that this apparently is using this SM501, what is using my, I had this open, funny. What is my mobile OCO, was it SM, no, maybe it was a 512. 700, of course it was a 720. Yeah, okay, so it's probably a more dumb. Okay, I don't need this board. It would have been cool if it would have been a Link 3D mobile, 3D capable thing. But R2D patch. So let's rebuild that quickly. Hope that doesn't crash anymore without that. Although it might not help us the most. I have the suspicion this is using that as storage. All right, and the usual win-win of like, hey, we updated LVM Clang while it did. Would need to... The way we could find out is go in there. So maybe that doesn't have IDE and or SATA or whatever. I guess maybe this is only I2C or SPI attached. SB storage stuff. Build SuperH. Let's see how that... Okay, it still fails. Whoop. I mean, maybe did this re-enable? Okay, it failed due to no cannot open root device. But okay, it doesn't, like, yeah, it doesn't segmentation fail due to can't allocate interrupt. We probably don't have storage. I slightly wonder somehow. I think it didn't do the Initrd. Maybe it might also be, maybe it did Initrd. Maybe it can't unpack it. Actually, it has ATA. Here is ATA. So, okay, we don't need this crashing USB SD thing there. But I suspect maybe it can't decompress the Initrd. We did probably our T2 stuff. Would this even have support for it? Yeah, we need set standard. Why does it not have set standard here? Why is this not a... Yeah, we should somehow merge that. We need some of our T2 default config. I find it a little bit too annoying. So I probably need to refactor this board config stuff a bit more to use our T2 infrastructure to enable and disable some stuff. Why is the Initrd... I mean, I could shortly recompress it, but why does this not have set standard? What am I missing here? Did they really not enable that for strange reasons? Did they... Let's manually do that. And supply the gset compressed one. No, also fails. So something is not happy with the Initrd, which sucks a bit. Or does this... I mean, it might be a QEMU limitation. Kernel command line. Okay, this has TTY, is this twice in here? This has root SDA. Where is that freaking coming? I didn't supply that. Okay, this is probably the default thing there. Memory available kernel code, read only data reserved. Interesting. It says here unknown R. Maybe it fails due to that unknown interrupt controller. Maybe we need to use indeed the plus thing. We could quickly test it, but somehow it doesn't have Initrd here. Strange. A blocked if Initrd is not set. That would probably explain a thing. Can we quickly... What was the other name? Simply arch R2D plus R2D plus R2 2D. Is the rest of the name entirely identical? D1 or D plus? You know what? Let's diff them. That's a professional thing to do. Ah, shit. So, okay, there's 1 in plus. That is very little. Very little MTD stuff there. And so yeah, it's only that stuff here. And here plus, you would hope that this is the other interrupt controller then. Let's quickly swap that. And SuperH plus here. Plus there. And then let's not overwrite the file here, because then okay, if conf, then I mean, we could always concatenate it, so let's do that. Let's do, let's append. Def config, because then we could combine them. I think that should probably mostly work. Then we change that to pre-conf maybe. I hope that was the best. Is it all? So the goal is to enable more than they build by default, like the Initrd. And I obviously don't want to patch all those files all the time, so let's delete that again. Package Linux, hotfix sh, and let's check that we are building something reasonable. R2 sh. Okay, we have RD sets to not, but where's our sh? Don't instantly see it. I think it's not working as I envisioned. Autoconf. So this is an LX config. Eval copy custom conf. Okay, that is that, otherwise autoconfig, and that is in pre-conf. Oh, this is in pre-conf. Okay, that is here. Just changed it from five. So let's make sure it runs before that. Ironically, it was at 3. So we need to run the dev config before we then merge it with our other, obviously. SuperH R2 R2, was it even R2D? SH, SuperH 4. No, this is somehow not yet the right. Somehow it is doing strange things. Somehow not yet. Still not doing what I wanted to do. Kernel there, Alex patch, Alex. Okay, oh, this is. It's not yet doing the patching here. What? Alex patch applying all over Alex patch. What do we need? We need, should this work? Alex patch. And it's not ideal, but Alex patch. Apply patch 5. Yeah, we could do that separately, but that is another thing. Why does this? Should this not work? We first run dev config and then we merge this configuration. Where was the auto? So basically adding, concatenating, should this not re-enable? Unless I have a typo in. Maybe someone is finding a typo. Off topic, seeing this passion curious how much coffee is safe for this kind of dedication. Yeah, not too much. I'm actually down on coffee. I only drink coffee in the office. Don't even have a coffee machine at home. So I'm actually way down. Like kinda only drink coffee anymore when I live stream. So it's you can be. And I also don't drink chemically unhealthy energy drinks. They just are expensively destroying your health. So probably don't use them at home. Or at work. So var ADM. Good, what's going on here? Oh, right, I wanted to check, actually this was correct. I wanted to check the log file. Config. Config written. So yeah, this order is not ideal because it's repatching stuff, but and then so warning value, it doesn't look too bad, so it's using that additionally. That kind of thought it should work. Did we even? So much to probably 30 plus minutes ago. We stop soon. It's like another hour or so, another hour in. All you do to have the world's best Linux distribution. So let's check. We save here the configs. So sh for board. Where's the freaking? Or is it completely? Looks a little bit overwritten, to be honest. SDE config sh board dev. Do we still have that? The history. this will not work like that. Why does this not work? This is why it doesn't work. Wait, what? Ah, dev config. What have I done there? Plus. What? It's named dev config. What have I done? It's dev config. Oh, maybe it's. Okay, that's still not. So it looks quite. Maybe it shouldn't be evaluated here already. So this is a case, one of those here. We have conf as h, right? So it should append that here. So, but maybe where do we have, I don't like that. Where do we have the patch? The patch path in. Alex patch is here. I don't like that we do that here. We have we have pre-patch, yeah, pre-conf, so let's do that earlier, then we can better hook. So the point of this hooks in general in software, not only here, is that you can hook into the system, or down, no, I copy and pasted this wrong. Yeah. So that we don't do that. So like flexible configuration architecture, like sync your mail program like pre-send or pre-authenticated. Linux patch. Okay, we could actually call this post. Do we not have auto patch? Pre-patch. Can we actually run that? It would actually make sense to make this pre-patch. I only need to check. This is only if auto patch. We have also post patch. Honestly, oops, why are you? White spaces. Yeah, darn. I think I want this hooks to work also if we're not auto patching. And this is how software is written, right? You write something, it made sense at that time, and this is how we constantly have changes, right? Not only the Linux kernel, GCC or LVM, also in our Linux distribution over 20 years, 25 years. You want the stuff more flexible, so then we can actually, forgot that we even have post patch, so then let's, because we don't have auto patch, we patch manually, so it's pre-patch, it's fine. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that improves things. Of course, this always has the chance to also break something with other packages. Although these cases are rare, the Linux kernel is one of the most complex users of all this flexibility. So the chances that this breaks something else where our minimal end with our daily compilation. We anyway will find it soon. Welcome everyone. What's up? Everyone tuning in late. Okay, that's building. Let's double check what we configured. I have the feeling this might still not work. Somehow there's some strange stuff going on. So SH, is it SH2 or SH? Ah, no, it works. So the point of all this complexity is like merging the dev config, like improving our T2 Linux kernel auto configuration to be able to merge dev configs with, because we obviously want to do more stuff on top, and then we can flexibly use all our other stuff. So for example, RD set standard, yeah, so that is now merging, so it's now with all the changed code, and that is also why if you wonder why do people in the Linux kernel, glibc, or in our Linux version why do we constantly move code around? Because we constantly improve things, right? We want to build something, we realize, nah, that's missing, that is missing, would be nice if we could flexibly hook into the process differently, and then we realize, oh, we disabled here something because we disabled auto patching and stuff, and then like, yeah, and that is how all this stuff comes together, right? One, like a little Lego, like a little puzzle piece, one puzzle, one Lego at a time, making code more perfect. So yes, some other YouTubers hate perfect code, but we love perfect code, and as each live stream, which each share, like, subscribe, Patreon, super things, we perfect our increasingly popular Linux distribution. Further, something failed here. This is out of whatever, I wrote less history. That's probably because we manually filled around there. But probably otherwise it built. Let's see if how this. So we changed multiple things, including Initrd support, and changed to the R2D plus board. So SuperH boot QEMU, and let's see what happens. Hey, we are in user space. It didn't crash. It doesn't have RTC, so waiting for. It's like also, although GNU League wants this module size must match the kernel load structure size at runtime. This might be, so it's just waiting for the SDA1 there. So yeah, we have a complete, like, if that is not amazing, I don't know what is. So many things I sat here on a Saturday, just improving some things, and from one thing to another, there's always one more thing. What have we done today? We set out to improve our non-mainstream exceptional ISOs like mipcel or SuperH to include the boot files, which initially I just used ISO as a container, and as we didn't have generic platform-specific boot stuff, so now all the ISOs have at least bootable files that you could run through QEMU. Then we updated LVM Clang to the latest revision, improved some SuperH stuff, and wired up and even improved the generic Linux auto configuration to better merge dev configs for all the embedded users out there who will use this in their products to base off of Linux kernel, like making T2 better and more flexible just by, like, if you're wondering why do I mess with this exceptional stuff, because messing with this exceptional rare Sega Dreamcast or other SuperH boards and QEMU perfects everything more and more, right? Tests it, even Initrd that I constantly improve. Could always, like every other day, I find here some minor thing, like even in the installer, right? Was it today or yesterday? Our installer, maybe it wasn't even this live stream. We did so much, I don't even remember what details we did 1.5 hours ago. I think it was today, like just a visible error message there, getting rid of that. And then also allowing SuperH, like one more thing, allowing playing along at home if you want to hack your old car or washing machine or microwave, refrigerator, or probably some satellite, or who knows, or your Sega Dreamcast. This T2 Linux now, SuperH support was there for probably 20 years, and now even better. GCC, SuperH, GCC, Multi-lib for no floating point stuff, for bootable kernel, and yeah, RTS70, 751, R2D, SH4 here, 121 of, alright, proc, okay, we probably had this KMask here, right, physical Flash, like, yeah, the only substitute for testing is more testing. The only substitute for working on code is, or for fixing bugs is fixing more bugs. And increasingly we are this, as I said in the beginning, our release a little bit delayed, but all those improvements just make this release such an amazing release. The only thing is PlayStation 3 is broken again, upstream broke, PS3 support again. It's like, I'm not sure if I have enough time to bisect why the Linux kernel again fails to properly boot on a Sony PS3. Would be amazing if you share, like, subscribe, Patreon, YouTube membership, or super thanks for spending even more time on debugging what's up. Like every month, debugging the Linux kernel for PS3, you can't make this stuff up. Int test QEMU. Do we have this open somewhere? Ah, here. What is there? Spark illegal instruction. Okay, whatever. The funny thing is, I believe this illegal instructed in QEMU, but works on real hardware. Emulation glitch, whatever. So that works now. So SuperH. Do we usually have the machine thing? Okay, fine, leave it there. We need VM Linux, so this is no graphic. Fair enough. So we probably need that serial here. So serial null and both now console SC1. Maybe this is necessary. We tested with it, so better edit. And remove that because now it freaking just works here. So the only other, so mipsel, do we have mipsel here? Mipsel we had here, Malta, that also worked. Yeah, we have still some Neos too. Yeah, some other HPPA also crashes. But that's it for this video. I have later some stuff to clean up, and as the usual stuff, just my regular working copy of, just had it cleaned up, 118. Some stuff to sort for reasons. Okay, also some, oh no, this is not all of this. Probably grab M of 43, it's not that bad. Like, do we have, actually, yeah, so that would be, it is just multi-lib improve GCC conf to allow multi-lib list with multi-lib disabled. Can't make this stuff up. I also don't see this for SuperH. No. FP proved no multi-lib plus. This is what a nonsense. I've seen a lot of nonsense, but yeah, it's fine. It's a free software foundation. We know that. Yeah, I thought the rest later, the live streams as usual. The irony is my YouTube channel would be more successful if I would make 10-15 minutes edited videos about, like, hey, look, this is a RISC-V board. But yeah, I need to get work done, so that was my work done. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Have a good day or night. And I hope to see you soon for all the next steps of perfecting our amazing Linux division. Till then, see you next time.